Well, good morning, everybody. This is yesterday's result. So you may be able to see that. And I've got some paints left over. I'm just going to put that there. I've got some paints left over, so I'm going to use them up this morning. And I've already prepared my board, my canvas board here. I've put on the back, I've put my masking tape, and I've put these giant push pins in. So you can buy them anywhere, any stationers, Amazon, online, very cheaply, and it just keeps your work up from the board. And I'm not really sure what I'm going to do today, as sometimes I just change my mind. So first of all, I think I'll put my gloves on because it does tend to get a bit messy, this work, and I hope you're all really enjoying creating things for yourself. And this sort of art, I think it's so easy, it's such a good way to begin your creativity in your artwork, because I've been reading a book by Julia Cameron, and it's about blocked artists, artists that either people think they can't create anything or they've just forgotten how, and it's quite a good book actually, because somebody gave it to me a few years back now, about 5 years ago, I think it was, and I never really looked at it much, because when I opened it, it wasn't quite what I expected, But actually, it's very good, and it's it seems I've just started reading it again. There we are. I've done my I've just coated it in the white because this helps the paint to move along. Now I'm using yesterday's colours. This is a lovely chocolate colour that I have got, and it really does look like chocolate. Lovely. Now, what am I going to do? Yesterday I did a flip with all the colours. So today I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm just going to start pouring the colours on. I'm going to start with this brown, this lovely brown colour. And there we are, just put it on and just see what we create today. And we never can tell, because it always comes out different as well. And this book, Julia Cameron, you want to look her up because it's really good. She's got a YouTube channel as well. But it's how to unblock your artist self. And one of the ways is to do morning pages. Well, to be honest with you, I've done morning pages for about 20 years, I suppose. And I've always found them a good way for unblocking, when you're going to write something. And as I said, I've done a lot of writing, really. One of my books, Psychic, You Are Psychic. But it's a way of unblocking yourself, when you're faced with a blank page, and you just write all your thoughts down first thing in the morning, anything that comes to mind. It's not like, I'm going to write a poem, I'm going to write this, it's anything. So whatever's in your mind. And the reason for this is to get the rubbish out of your mind onto the paper. Now, this isn't for anybody else to see. I'm going to put the blue on now, this baby powder blue. And this isn't for anybody else to see. It's just getting the rubbish out of your mind. And I don't even, you don't even look at it yourself, because once you've written it, you just pack it away. It's for nobody else to see, and it's not even for you to look at, because you've got it. You can look at it years later perhaps, but you've got everything, all the rubbish out of your head and onto the paper. So really, it's a good way. It's like a meditation in a way. And I've found that when I used to do it before, I found that, you write 3 foolscap, say A4 pages of writing longhand, and you just keep writing. And even if you can't think of anything to say, write it down. I can't think of anything to say. I can't think of anything to say. And suddenly you'll find that things come out, because things do enter your head. But it also makes a space for your higher energies to come through, if you like, and we write all sorts of different things on the page, amazing things actually. This is where we can get inspiration as well. Now, I'm hoping I don't end up with a big sludge on the page. Not on the page, but on the canvas. So I've got all these. Quite a big bit there, quite a big lump there. I'm not really sure about lumps. Right, and I'm going to just going to put this white on again, a bit of white on again as well. And I think what I'll do is put a bit of white along the top. I'm going to swipe it and wipe, which is a bit unusual for me because I just like to use a different colour. Now, you've probably seen my other videos, and I just want to say here, thanks so much for subscribing. I'm really grateful for that. That really does help me. So thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. If you haven't already done it, just tap the button. It costs nothing. And these videos, I like to do these videos in the hope that it'll inspire some of you to take up that bit of creativity again. And, those locked away hidden things. And the way, as I say, this Julia Cameron, a way of starting is actually through morning pages. Now, I've put a layer of white along the top there. And I'm just going to swipe that across with some, this is just ordinary kitchen roll. It's quite a thick one, actually. I do use thick kitchen roll. So I'm just going to swipe it along, and I'm going to dip just about 1/4 of an inch into that white paint and just draw it across and see how it turns out. Now, with this sort of art as well, never be in too much of a hurry with it. Just allow the paint to flow. Give it a little bit of time to mix and blend with the other colours as well. And as I was saying, I believe it was yesterday or the other day, don't take things quite so serious. I think it's a good way of to get our creative juices flowing, to play a little bit with your art and just allow it to flow across the page, and or across the board in this case. I'm just going to move that a little, and don't worry too much if you haven't got those corners covered. Don't worry, because you can do that afterwards. But I'm just going to now take my paper and just skim it across the top of that of the work. So just dip it in. Now, I do take a chance because, with all these colours here, especially the black chocolate, you never know what you're going to end up with. So I'm hoping it's not mud. I'm hoping it's not a bit of a splodge. So we'll just see what happens. Go with the flow. Go with the flow. Just like in Taoism, Don't know if you've heard of that, but it's spelt Taoism. And I've already got cells coming up on here, so it's quite nice actually. So I don't know, now I might just go across it with the balloon. Or even, a comb. I've got a comb here that sometimes I use this sometimes, this comb. It's got a tooth missing, which doesn't really matter at all because it just helps to add interest to the pattern. So I might just go with that, just use that comb there, and that's quite nice actually. Yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit here as well. There we are. And this is just experiment with what you've got, you know. Experiment and see what you can produce, because, you know, it's no good us all producing the same art. It's your art, and, you know, it's just your expression, and it's an expression of all that you have been, all that you are, you know. And I feel that with art, it's an expression of where you come from too. So I'm going to get some heat on this. This is my heat wand, which you can buy, you know, in craft shops, but it's also used for cake making and that sort of thing. I believe I got this one from Hobbycraft, and we'll get a bit of heat on that because that does help bring up the cells. But we don't want to blow it about, so we're just getting some heat on the painting. Sometimes I use a hairdryer. If I want to do a blowout, I use the hairdryer. But today I want to use my heat wand, and that's just bringing up more and more cells there in my painting. And that's just brought, that comb effect has just brought a little bit of interest on the corners there. And I think I may even use the balloon as well. There we are. We just don't want too much heat on it. Just a little. But just experiment. Have fun with your art. And please do subscribe for me. That would be lovely. I'd really appreciate that. And I already appreciate all those that already have. Thank you so much. There we are. I think that's enough. There's quite a few cells coming up there. Now, I've probably already mentioned, I know I have in my other videos, that I mix up my paint at a 50-50 ratio with my medium. Now the medium I make with Floeterol, and I buy that on Amazon. You can use other glues, you know, PVC glues. You can, or PVA is it? Glues. But I find this works quite well, and they also say that Elmer's school glue works well too. So I mix that up at a 70-30 ratio. I'll just show you that. This is the Floeterol. Oh yeah, look, I've got one already mixed up. And it's 70% glue to 30% water. And I use hot water and I leave it overnight. And I do mix up my paints overnight as well. That seems to work better for me as well. Right, well, we've got everything on the board there. It's looking quite nice. I'll just move the camera for a moment so you can see it. There we are. It's looking quite nice, but I just feel that I want to just, you know, put the balloon over it. Hope you can still see that. So I've just got a little balloon here. I've got a little balloon here filled up with water, so I'm going to use that. Just see what I can produce here, how I can produce things. It's a little wet at the moment. There we are. It's just a little wet at the moment, so I might just let it dry off for about half an hour before I you know, do any more work to that with the balloon. So I'll just see how it how it's drying and how I feel. Just put your own expressions on your own paintings. Make them unique. Make them yours. This is your work, you know. I'm just showing you how I do mine, you know, but just let your creative juices flow. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back with another video soon. This will be on my Facebook page, Patricia Keegan, and on my spirit-inspired art. So have a look there, and you might get some tips and ideas from that as well. And other people are putting on theirs as well, so that's good. You can look at how other people have created their art too. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe. Subscribe. Hit the button. Thank you very much. Bye-bye for now.